This one's for you, commenter who said I look like a young Obi Wan. Like that? I don't have much room to move with this because I got a fan right here. But I'm doing the best I can, alright? Give me a break. I got a TV and a bed right here, so I gotta be careful. Ooh. I'm gonna speed that one up so it looks much cooler than it was. Should we unbox a figure now? Maybe. You like that? You like that little intro bit? I think it's cool. It's the Galaxy's Edge Obi Wan Phantom Menace lightsaber. It's pretty sweet. All right, wait, hold on. What's up, everybody? D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another NECA video. This video is brought to you by NECA. They are the ones who send me these figures to review, so huge shout out to NECA. Got them linked down below. Give them some love and support their figures because they're great. Let's find out how great they are when we review this figure. In order to review this figure, I needed help, so I've got my bulky big boy Godzilla 1962 back out. So we are going to be using him for comparison. We also brought his atomic breath out, so here's the atomic breath. Doesn't really stay in his mouth very well, but we got his atomic breath back out so that we could use him for comparison. I love this suit. My favorite movie ever, guys. Wait, D-Man doesn't have legs? What we see him play with at the start? You saw me using some cybernetic legs, like Darth Maul. They're fake legs. The other figure we got out is the 1964 SH Monster Arts Godzilla Emergence version, Awakening, whatever they called them. The special color version, Godzilla 1964. My first SH Monster Arts figure and one of my favorites. I absolutely love this figure. So we got him out. If you couldn't tell, if I'm not mistaken, we are going to be reviewing the NECA 1964 Godzilla. I was supposed to review this guy last night. I filmed an unboxing last night for NECA, and I wound up getting blindsided because it did not turn out to be the NECA 1964. So I'm hoping that the box I'm about to stab is in fact the NECA 1964 Godzilla. Otherwise, I got these figures out for nothing. Here's the box straight from NECA. Let's cut right into it and see what's inside. All right, tearing this thing open. Let's see it. Hey, it is exactly what I thought it was. The NECA 1964 Godzilla. It's a heavy box, heavy. All right, sweet. So this is NECA's third Showa figure, right? This is their third. So they've done 54, 62, and now 64. I wonder why they skipped Godzilla Raids again. I hope they circle back to him. But we've got the NECA Godzilla 1964 box here. Of course, we're going to do the box review, all that good stuff, as I always do. I've been really excited about this figure because the 64 suit is one of my favorites. It's kind of tied with the 75 suit as my favorite Showa Godzilla suit. So I'm really excited to get this figure out and check him out. I don't like these. I know they have to do them so that they can hang them at the store, but I never see these NECA boxes hung up at the stores anyways. Most of the time, I just see them sitting down anyways. I don't like these. I'll be honest. I like the ones that don't have it, but whatever. That's a weird thing to critique. So here we got Mothra. Godzilla. We've got Mothra vs. Godzilla, Japanese poster for the movie, or as the American title, Godzilla against Mothra. I've actually never heard that as the American title for the movie. Yeah, Godzilla against Mothra. Interesting. Godzilla against Mothra. I've always heard it as Godzilla vs. Mothra, or Mothra vs. Godzilla, or Godzilla vs. the Thing. But here we go. We got the classic 1964 poster. So weird that the poster utilizes the 62 design for Godzilla, but a lot of the Showa era posters did that. A lot of the Showa era posters utilized the 62 design for Godzilla. Cool poster, sure. It's got all our characters down here on the bottom, and Godzilla here on fire. Oh, I guess he's in the water right there. I was gonna say, I don't remember Godzilla catching fire on his legs in the movie. He's in water. And you've got the little Mothra larvae here. I hope that NECA does a Mothra set of the 64 Mothra, because I'd like a good articulated 64 Mothra, and I don't have one yet. You've got the fairies here. So on the side, you've got the poster for the movie again, says Godzilla against Mothra. Maybe that's the new international title, I don't know. And then the 65 years Godzilla logo. Other side is identical. Back of the box, you have a front-on display picture, a side display picture, and a kind of angled display picture of Godzilla from the movie. And it looks like we have another little description for the film down here. A massive egg washes ashore after a powerful typhoon, and greedy promoters seek to exploit it for profit. Just as twin fairies from Infant Island plead for the egg to be returned to Mothra, Godzilla arrives and will let nothing stand between it and the egg. Weird that they call Godzilla in it. When Mothra appears, will she be able to defeat Godzilla, or are her offspring and Japan doomed? doomed. I don't mean to spoil anything for you guys, but I don't think she's got this. I think her kids might though. So let's check out what's inside the box. We've got a full body picture of the Godzilla 1964 display, and then we've got Godzilla. Oh, that's awesome. We've got Godzilla here, and you've got the larva here. That's sweet. And then you got Mothra up here. That's awesome. I really like that. And then it looks like the background's actually a picture from the movie of maybe the beach with the egg. Oh, that's exactly what it is. It's all the people surrounding the egg. That's sweet. Get this guy out. This is one of their cooler boxes. I love their poster boxes. Their poster boxes are gorgeous. So much better than the King of the Monsters poster boxes. Maybe it's because I just personally like the older posters more than I like the King of the Monsters posters, but whatever. There was just something cooler about older movie posters. Am I wrong? I don't think I am. All right, let's get Godzilla out of here. So this is something that I've noticed a little bit recently. Is like my things that come inside the box are bent lately. I don't know why, but the tops of them or the bottoms of them are bent. But here you go. You've got the image. So you've got all the people on the beach surrounding Mothra's egg. That's awesome. I love that. Cool little thing to go in the back of the box. And then here's Godzilla. I didn't even look at him in the box, but here's Godzilla outside the box. Not as bulky as the 62 Godzilla. I'm excited to get this one out. I love this suit, so I'm excited to check him out. Let's start with the atomic breath, I guess. All right, here's the atomic breath outside of the thing. Now, personally, hear me out. I don't think they should have reused this sculpt, but this is more or less what the King of the Monsters atomic breath should have looked like. This looks so much better than the King of the Monsters atomic breath. Although, it's got the same color scheme as the 64 breath. Weird that they still do the white. I mean, I know Godzilla's breath in the movie is kind of white-ish, but it isn't white, let's be real. It only looks white because they're spraying it out of his mouth. It's supposed to be blue, as you can see whenever they do it as a visual effect rather than as a special effect. No, this isn't. I was gonna say this might be the exact 64 atomic breath. It isn't. I'm glad that I got this out. Had I not gotten this one out, I would not have known that they were two separate sculpts, and I probably would have said that they were the same. This might be the GMK? I don't know. This might be original. I can't tell. Definitely got the same color scheme as this one, so it's going to be almost difficult not to confuse them, but the 62 atomic breath is considerably thicker than the 64 atomic breath, and the ends of them are different. The 62 atomic breath is just a straight edge. This one has a little flat point to go right in his mouth, so that's cool. I like that. All right, let's break Godzilla out of here. Let's get him free. It's gonna take me a year because it always does, but I'm excited for this one more so than I've been for any Neca Godzilla I've unboxed in a while. I love the Showa Godzilla movies. I love the Showa Godzilla suits. I'm very excited to get this figure out. Okay, the black wire came out easy this time, but this Godzilla is tied in there with so many of these little clear bands that lock him in place that it's gonna be a little difficult to get him out. 3? Did you guys really need 3 on just Godzilla? You guys know the Godzilla 154? You love how I give him a shout out every single Neca video because he's the Neca guy. That's what he is. He's got like 7 of these. It's absurd. He spends more on buying the same Neca figure over and over again than I spend on buying new Monster Arts figures. You want to see the ultimate FU to Copa and the FTC if they ever try and come after my Neca videos? Bam! Ages 14 and up. These figures ain't for children. I just realized that I'm gonna have to go heat the tail up to pop it on, which is a bummer. Godzilla 1964 though is from one of my favorite Godzilla movies, Mothra vs. Godzilla, which is why I was so excited to get this figure because it's one of my favorite Godzilla movies. It's kind of like the perfect Godzilla movie to me. It's got an unstoppable Godzilla. He's invincible. The military does not do anything to him. He's a total badass. He's evil in the movie, which is always something I'm down for. So he's evil. He's a bad guy. He's just wiping everything out. He takes no crap from anybody. He looks awesome in the movie. He's got a great human cast, a fantastic score, and one of Godzilla's most iconic enemies of all time. It's such a perfect Godzilla movie. And I'm gonna go and heat your tail up, fella, because I can't pop this on. I tried, and it doesn't. So you're gonna need to heat it up with a blow dryer. So I'll go do that, and then I'll be back to finish the review. The trap they come up with in Mothra vs. Godzilla where they drop that net on him and then shoot the lightning at him is so cool. That's one of the most inventive Godzilla traps they've ever come up with. All right, I got the figure all put together, got the tail on this guy, and I've decided that the one accessory this figure is missing, you know it, Skull Turtle. Should have come with the Skull Turtle accessory. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there are 25 points of articulation on this figure, if I'm not mistaken. We've got 6 in the tail here. The tail can't do a ton. I mean, the good thing about this tail is the poses this tail can go in, he can really hold those poses. I mean, that's the one thing that I really like about these thicker figures is their tails can typically hold the poses better, but there's not as many joints in this tail for you to pose with. So you're not getting the greatest range of motion you could possibly imagine with this tail. Oh, there you go. I popped it right off. But you're getting a pretty good range with the tail. And of course, you've got 6 in the legs because you've got the leg that kicks out and forward. Golly, mine are really stiff. My legs are super duper stiff, but it kicks out and forward. You've got a bend at the knee, and then you can do, you know, you've got your little ball joint at the foot, so you can do whatever with the foot. Again, the feet have pegs on the bottom, so if you want to put them on something, you can. Got my left knee really stiff. My whole Godzilla is super stiff. I guess it kind of is fitting because the Godzilla in this movie moves very stiffly, but like, do you hear how much I have to force this figure to actually move? I'm sure if I were to have heated it up a little more, because I tried to heat it up, but I should have heated up more, it would be better. You've got a torso, so you can turn his torso. Looking at it in the camera, it looks just like the suit. On the arms, you've got 6 between the 2 arms, 6 between the 2 legs. You've got 3 on each. You can move the arm up. Actually, you might have 4 on the arms. You have 4 on the arms, so there's 8 in total. And then you've got the bend at the elbow, so you can make him do stuff with his elbow. He can be straight down, or you can have his elbow up. Hands are on ball joints, so you can turn his hands all around. Inside his hands, he's got a little hinge so that he can open and close his hands. I always love when Neca adds those. That's one thing that Monster Arts isn't as good at, but that's because Monster Arts figures are typically smaller than Neca. They don't really have the ability to. As for the neck, you've got a ball joint at the neck here. Again, mine's super stiff. You can turn his neck around. You can lift his neck up as far as the dorsal fins will allow you to, and you can make him look down pretty far. With the head on top of that, with also being on a ball joint, you can make him look up pretty far, and then you can make him look down pretty decently. You've also got the joint in the mouth, the hinge in the mouth, so that his mouth can open and close. Like that framing, putting his mouth in front of my mouth so that you can see my mouth talking while I'm talking about the subject of the video. My quality is unmatched by anybody. In terms of paint, there's not a heck of a lot to talk about because the majority of the paint is just charcoal gray. You've got charcoal gray, but then you've got some nice undertones to it, so it's not just gray. There's some highlights here on the legs. Also some darker paint schemes throughout so that it's got some flavor to it, as you can see on the arms here. We're trying to be movie accurate with it. So with the dorsal fins as well, you've got the white tipped dorsal fins with the dark centers, which was a staple of the Showa Godzillas, and then you go down through the tail where it's just white all throughout. With the face here, my eyes appear to be looking pretty decently. Neca's been getting a pass lately because the Godzilla figures I've been reviewing don't have pupils, but this one has pupils and they're looking in the right direction. Inside the mouth, you've got a pink tongue, or I guess colored tongue, and then you've got kind of yellowish teeth. So good detailing there, and the eyes are kind of yellowish as well. The actual sculpt for this figure is pretty good. I like this sculpt on the body a lot. The body looks best on this figure. When you're looking at him actually at this angle, he looks just like Godzilla in the movie. Like I said, the sculpt is pretty decent here. The dorsal fins are very well sculpted. Teeth all individually sculpted, which is great. Dorsal fins all individually sculpted, which is great. The body itself has very nice detailing to it. So it looks very deep. It almost gives it a thicker aesthetic to it to where it makes the figure look bulkier. I like that. I like the detailing in the sculpt everywhere on this figure except the face. You've got the 3-toed Godzilla as well. This was back before he had 4 toes. Here's the problem with Godzilla's face. I think it's a mixture between the paint and the sculpt. When you're looking at it head on, this does not look like the 64 Godzilla. Even from the side view, it doesn't look a ton like him. When you look at him at this angle, you can see it. The brows should be bigger. This Godzilla had huge eyebrows and his cheeks were much larger. His cheeks hung down over his teeth. And that's one thing that I think this figure really misses out on. They do try and give him the dead eye aesthetic that this Godzilla has. I'm not sure how well they achieve it. They kind of painted under the eyes black to make him have that dead eye aesthetic. It just doesn't have the same appeal or look to it that the actual suit has. This looks like a cuter version of the 1964 Godzilla. And that's one thing with the NECA Showa Godzillas that I've noticed is they look like cuter versions of the actual character. Now I got Monster Arts out for comparison because I knew the cheeks on this Godzilla were not right. I knew that the cheeks on this Godzilla left something to be desired because I've seen pictures of this guy online and I've seen Godzilla 154's customs of it where he fixed the cheeks and it looks so much better with the fixed cheeks. Here's my SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1964 Emergence version. I wish I had the normal version as well, but I don't. There's a clear difference in the face here. When you look at this face, he's definitely got the 64 likeness down. He's got the puffy cheeks, the dead eyes. He just looks exactly like that Godzilla. When you look at them side by side, I kind of have to hide my face here. When you look at them side by side, they don't have the same facial aesthetic. This Godzilla looks much cuter than this Godzilla. The SH Monster Arts just has a more accurate likeness to the Godzilla face. I realized I kind of sabotaged myself by opening one of the windows back there. Now the camera really wants to focus on my face, and so it's really not focusing on the figure because it's like, hey, the light's behind you. In terms of sculpts though, I think this NECA Godzilla has a more suit-like sculpt, whereas the 64 Godzilla from Monster Arts looks a little more movie accurate. This one does look look more like the suits of the era with the way the skin is textured than this one, but this one looks more movie accurate. I do love both these figures though. They're both great in their own right. Standing next to each other, Neca doesn't do scaling like Monster Arts does. Monster Arts tries to semi-scale their figures, so the Monster Arts one's significantly smaller than the Neca one. As you can see here, this guy looks much bigger. It's actually funny because on camera, at this angle or at this distance, this does look more movie accurate than this one, but this one, I'm telling you guys, significantly more movie accurate in person. I know a lot of people don't like this figure because of the dirt on it, but I think this is a great figure. Now getting this big bulky 62 out. 62 feels bigger. He certainly is heavier. He's thicker is the reason why, but here next to each other, they stand about the same height. They actually are the same height if I had their heads angled right. They're about the same height. They are different paint colors. This one's a little more green than this one. They are differently made, so that's good, you know. Dorsal fins are fairly similar on each of them. Not the bottom half of this guy's are different than this guy's, but the top ones are pretty similar. But they are both movie accurate. I checked. So here they are together. They look great together. This one does look awesome on camera. This is a really cool figure. There's just slight tweaks they could have done to make it a little better. Again, the eyes. If they had made the eyes look a little more dead, I'm not sure how, but they could have like whited them out instead of having, not whited them over entirely, but made them a little more white rather than yellow. I think that would have helped. Making the eyebrows bigger would have helped, and then giving them puffier cheeks would have definitely helped. So here's the atomic breath. Let's see how it goes into his mouth. I'm assuming this little pointed part is supposed to wrap around the back of his mouth so that you can put it in like this, and then he shoots his breath down like that, and there you go. There is the Neca Godzilla 1964 firing his atomic breath. It's funny because I actually think this figure probably is going to look better without the atomic breath being fired from his mouth. I really like that they're adding the accessories of the atomic breaths now. That's awesome. It's a great little addition. I was going to get my SH Monster Art 64 Godzilla's atomic breath out as well, but his is currently on a stand and I don't want to have to reset it up, so I left his down where it is. But here you go, Godzilla 1964 firing the atomic breath. Hell yes. I love this movie. I love this suit. I think this figure does a really good job at almost capturing it. You know, this figure almost gets it perfect, which is why I don't think it's going to surprise anyone. If you've been watching my NECA reviews, I think NECA's been very consistent lately in producing figures that are awesome. There's just slight tweaks that I think should be made to them that would turn them into 10 out of 10s. So this is another 9 out of 10. Again, the face is the only thing here that I think should have any slight changes to it because the sculpt is great. Articulation is great. He's very posable. Need to break him in to make him a little more posable, but he's very posable. He can hold his poses, which is nice, specifically in the tail. I always like that. So I'm happy about that. He looks great. Paint's great. Everything's great, except some slight tweaks on the face could have been used. And that'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man, out.